Hello and welcome back again, Coffee Beans. This is General Engineering. Definition of terms. Part 1. Absolute temperature is the number of degrees above absolute zero expressed in kelvins or Rankine. Absorption, the adherence of gas, liquid, or dissolved materials to the surface of solids through physical and/or electrochemical attachment. Accuracy, the extent to which the readings of a measurement approach the true values of a single measured quantity. Air duct, pipe, tube or passageway for conveying air. Airfoil, the cross-section profile of the leeward side of a wind generator blade. Designed to give a low drag and good lift. Also found on an airplane wing. Air gap, in a permanent magnet alternator. It is the distance between the magnets and the laminates. Alternating current, AC. An electric current that changes polarity. Alternator, an electromechanical device which produces AC current. Alternators, a device for converting mechanical energy into electrical energy in the form of alternating current. Aluminum is the next best choice by manufacturers of electric wire and cable. Is lighter in weight than copper. Aluminum and aluminum alloy plate. Rolled rectangular section of thickness greater than 6.0 mm with either sheared or sawn edges. Aluminum and aluminum alloy sheet. Rolled rectangular section of thickness over 0.15 mm up to 6 mm. With sheared, slit or sawn edges. Aluminum sheets can be purchased in various degrees of hardness such as 2S, 3S, etc., where 3S is harder than 2S. Sheets 24 inches by 72 inches and in gauges from 30, 28, 26, 24, 22, 20 and 18 will meet the requirements of most shop projects such as trays, bowls and lamps. Ammeter, an instrument used to measure the rate of current flow in amperes. Ampacity is the current in amperes that a conductor can carry continuously under the conditions of use without exceeding its temperature rating. Amperage, a unit of electrical current, equal to coulombs per second. This is the flow rate of electrons moving through a circuit, very roughly analogous to gallons per minute flowing from a faucet. Ampere, base unit of current, coulomb per second, a unit of measurement defined as the current that 1 volt can send through 1 ohm resistance. Ampere hour, unit used to show energy storage capacity of cell or battery. Ampere hour capacity, a measurement of the battery capacity to deliver a specified current over a specified length of time. Anemometer, a device that measures wind speed. Angle of attack, the angle of relative air flow to the blade cord. Annealing, it is a heating and slow cooling of a solid metal, usually done to soften it. Apparent modulus of elasticity, when a material is inelastic bone, loading and unloading the material several times within the linear limit may produce loading and unloading curves that may give different values for the modulus of elasticity. Area of a circle, pi multiplied by the radius squared. Axial alternator, an alternator design where a flat disc carrying magnets on the face, the armature, rotates and is attached to the blades and hub. Also called a rotor. Axis, the center line of a rotating object's movement. Balancing, with wind turbine blades. It refers to adjusting their weight and weight distribution through two axes so that all blades are the same. Unbalanced blades create damaging vibration. Battery bank, an array of batteries connected in series. Parallel, or both, bearing stress, is a contact pressure between separate bodies. Bending, the metal is stressed in both tension and compression at values below the ultimate strength of the materials without appreciable change in its thickness. Bending moment, it is the tendency or a measure of tendency to produce motion, especially around a point or an axis. It is a measure of the stresses acting on the beam. Bethel process, see full cell process. Betz coefficient, 59.3%. This is the theoretical maximum efficiency at which a wind generator can operate. By slowing the wind down. Bimetallic strip, sandwich of two metals with different coefficient of expansion. Bioengineering is another term for genetic engineering. Bonded, a reliable connection to assure the required electrical conductivity between metal parts required to be electrically connected. Bonding, the permanent electrical joining of metallic parts to form a conductive path which will assure electrical continuity with the capacity to conduct safely any current likely to be imposed. Bonding jumper, a reliable conductor to assure the electrical conductivity between metal parts. Boyle's law states that the absolute pressure which a given quantity of gas at constant temperature exerts against the walls of the containing vessel and is inversely proportional to the volume occupied. Brake drum windmill, a home-built wind generator designed by Hugh Pigott of Scotland. Bridge rectifier, an array of diodes used to convert alternating current to direct current. Single-phase bridge rectifiers use 4 diodes. 3-phase bridge rectifiers use 6 diodes. Brittle hardness, the surface hardness of a metal, alloy, or similar material according to J. A. Brinell's method of measurement. Brittleness, the property of a material that permits it to be only slightly deformed without rupture. British Thermal Unit BTU, the amount of heat required to raise 1 pound of water 1 degree Fahrenheit. Brushes, devices for transferring power to or from a rotating object, usually made of carbon graphite. Capacitance, ability to store energy in the form of electrical energy. Capacitor, an electrical component that possesses capacitance. Cell, chemical system that produces voltage. Centroid, it is a point that corresponds to the center of gravity of a very thin homologous plate of the same area and shape. Cesium, is the best known conductor of electricity, but reacts with air and water, disintegrate, and make them useless for making connections in an electric circuit. The choice is based on lowest resistance per unit length. Circular pitch, the length of the arc of the pitch circle between two consecutive corresponding profiles. Cleaning sieve area, the area of each sieve shall be the product of its length and exposed width, measured in square meters to the nearest hundredth. Coercivity, is the amount of power needed to magnetize or demagnetize a permanent magnet. Cogeneration, the simultaneous production of two useful forms of energy. Heat and power, it is a cost-effective energy resource option for the industry. Cogging, is the cyclic physical resistance felt in some alternator designs from magnets passing the coils and gaps in the laminates. Detrimental to startup. Coil-rolled steel, is a steel processed by working at room temperatures. More expensive than hot-rolled steel. Cold shortness, refers to the brittleness of metal at ordinary or low temperature. Cold working, it is the process of deforming a metal plastically at a temperature below the recrystallization temperature and at a rate to produce strain hardening. Commutator, it is the rotating part of a DC generator. Compressive stress, refers to the tend to press or squeeze an object. Concave, a surface curved like the interior of a circle or sphere. Conditioned fluid, the fluid being acted upon by the working fluid. Conductance, ability to conduct current. Conduction, the transfer of heat through the air between the fire and the pot. In a traditional open fire, heat is lost into the open air. In the improved stove, passages or ducts leading from the fire to the cooking pots are sealed so that only air controlled by the dampers reaches inside the stove. Conductivity, a measure of the soluble salts in the soil, used as an overall indicator of the level of macro and micronutrients in the soil. Conductors, materials that have very low resistivity. Conduit, a circular tube used to enclose electrical wires. The conduit may be metal or plastic. Control console, the electrical assembly which monitors all sensors and activates auxiliary alarm devices upon sensing an alarm condition. Control gate, device to adjust the intake areas for capacity control. Convection, the transfer of heat by circulating motion. Hot gases rise and cooler gas sink, creating a turbulence. In a traditional open wood fire, convection is uncontrolled and the wind can dispose the hot gases and prevent them from reaching the pot. In an improved stove, passages for the flow of air and gases are constructed in such a way, for example by adding baffle, that convection is increased. The turbulence ensure that the hot air is bounced directly up against the bottom of the pot, rather than being carried openly across the bottom of the pot. Convex, a surface curved like the exterior of a circle or sphere. Copolymer, polymers consisting of more than one monomer. Copper, is the usual choice for conductor on commercial scale. Copper sheets, are widely used for making projects in general metal shops because of their attractive appearance. The thickness of copper sheet may be given in gauges, but the weight in ounces per square foot is also used. Thus, a 16-ounce copper sheet would be gauge number 24, nearest B and S gauge number. Coppice, a newly cut area regenerated primarily by sprouts. Covalent, non-ionic chemical bond formed by stored electrons. Cumulative oversized distribution curve, a curve obtained by plotting the total percentages by mass retained on each of a set of sieves of descending aperture size against the corresponding aperture sizes. Cumulative undersized distribution curve, a curve obtained by plotting the total percentages by mass passing each of a set of sieves of descending aperture size against the corresponding aperture sizes. Cut-in, the rotational speed at which an alternator or generator starts pushing electricity hard enough, has a high enough voltage to make the electricity flow in a circuit. Cyanoacrylate, a fast setting, hard and brittle adhesive, cycle per second, measured in hertz. In electricity, it is the number of times an AC circuit reaches both minimum and maximum values in 1 second. Darius, a vertical axis wind turbine designed from the 1920s and 1930s by F.M. Darius, a French wind turbine designer. Deceleration, an instrument to measure and record average deceleration with an accuracy of plus or minus 3%. Deformation, is the amount of change in the material's shape. Delta, a three-phase alternator wiring configuration in which all phases are connected in series. Density, is mass per unit volume. Diameter, a straight line passing through the center of a circle, and ending on both edges, equal to 2 times the radius. Downwind, refers to a horizontal axis wind turbine in which the hub and blades point away from the wind direction. The opposite of an upwind turbine. Drag. In a wind generator, it is the force exerted on an object by moving air. It also refers to a type of wind generator or anemometer design that uses cups instead of blades with airfoils. Dump load. A device to which wind generator power flows when the system batteries are too full to accept more power. Usually an electric heating element. This diversion is performed by a shunt regulator and allows a load to be kept on the alternator or generator. Durability refers to the ability of the materials to retain their strength and other properties over a considerable period of time. Duty cycle. In a circuit, it is the ratio of off time to on time. Dynamo. A device that produces direct current from a rotating shaft. Electric current refers to the movement of electrons, flow or passing. Electric field. Invisible field of force that exists between electric charges. Electricity. A general term that refers to both naturally occurring electrical phenomena, such as lightning and static electricity, and to generate electricity, which takes the form of direct current or alternating current electric power. Electromagnet. It is a device made of wire coils that produces a magnetic field when electricity flows through the coils. Electromotive force, EMF. Forces that move or tend to move electricity. Electron. Negatively charged particle of an atom. Embrittlement. Involves the loss of ductility because of a physical or chemical change of the material. Emissivity. Ratio at which the given surface unit radiation to the rate of radiation of a black body at the same temperature. Emissivity of a surface is expressed as the ratio at which the given surface emits radiation to the rate of radiation of a black body at the same temperature. Energy balance. Energy cannot be created or destroyed during heat transfer. Therefore, the amount of energy leaving the source must the amount reading the sink. Energy collected. The rate energy collection by the test collector per unit area of the gross collector area shall be computed from the specific heat of air flowing through the measuring device multiplied by the mass flow rate per unit area and by the temperature rise of the air from entrance to exit of the collector. Epoxy. A two-part adhesive system consisting of resin and hardener. It does not start to harden until the elements are mixed together. Not compatible with fiberglass resin. Excitation. Using an electric current to create a magnetic field. Extensive property. Its value for an overall system is the sum of its values for the parts into which the system is divided, varies directly with the mass, i.e. total volume. Hope it helps. Thank you again for listening. Please like, subscribe and comment your suggestion on topics you want to hear. Links of previous topics are stated in the description box below. See you in the next part. Bye. Rar.